Hello future chefs. So today we're gonna be talking about stocks, in particular brown stock made with chicken. I will explain to you why. I am very fond and super happy to make white stocks, but white stocks is usually when you're going to make something very specific, like a soup, like chicken noodle soup, or sometimes you want to make rice, right? Instead of use water, you want to use stock, and you want your rice to remain with that white color, right? I like with a little bit more color. I always like that. But so I'm going to show you how to make a brown stock using chicken. So we're definitely going to use the back of the chicken that some people really don't use it. Sometimes they even throw it away. Imagine that. Now we're going to use this, okay? And we're going to place it on a tray like that, in a sheet like this. And you can totally, use the meat. Some people say that some chefs like to not to use the meat when making broth, but also it becomes very delicate. Okay, if you're using, of course, beef or lamb, you really want to use just the bone, because the meat itself is very strong. But when doing chicken stock, white/brown stock, that's fine. So it will give a lot of flavor. That's the difference between stock and broth, right? Broth, you will always use the meat and the bone. Actually, not even the bone, more the meat, okay? And on stock, you definitely have to use the bone, okay? So I'm going to place all of it here, apart from my chicken breast. I'm not gonna use chicken breast, no. And also my thighs right there. Okay, so I'm gonna place this in the oven, but I'm gonna place in the oven. I'm gonna let it like really brown. I want it to be super brown. Okay, I will add some olive oil, just a tiny bit of olive oil, although it has a lot of fat already because of the skin. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil and see how it goes. Okay, be right back. All right, future chefs. So I have the chicken bones in the oven. So I just want to clarify here that the difference between broth and stock is that the broth is made with meat, and stock is exclusively made with bones, okay? But because we're doing the quarantine and I'm, cooking from home most of the time, I am making half and a half. I'm making a lot of bones. You see that I put the legs and I put all the, the chicken wings and all those parts that has all the bones. I put it in the oven to roast. And why I'm doing this? Because if I was doing just white stock, I wouldn't have to, to put them in the oven. So, but I want to have like a nice color on my stock. The base of stock, guys, we talk about that. It's something called mirepoix. Mirepoix is celery, carrots, and onions. Okay, so the ratio, like I said, I was explaining to you in class, that is very important, the ratio. Usually we say we have 50% of onions, we have 25% of carrots, and 25% of celery. I like to measure with cups usually, so this is a cup, okay, and this is a half cup. Now if I have one of these of onions, I have to have one of carrots and one of celery, and that's the ratio. That's why I meant 2 to 1 to 1 when I was talking about the ratio for the mirepoix. It is important to have this combination because it gives a lot of flavor. Okay, so the bones in the chicken are in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and also for 40 minutes. As soon as it come out, I'm going to show you a little technique that I've been using for many years that will help to get the broth really nice and brown with some beautiful color. I will get to demi-glaze later on, even better. Even this is the best it can get. That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's exactly what I was looking for the beauty, the color, and also, of course, the skin. A little bit more of olive oil, okay? Just a tiny bit. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to roast it, okay? I'm going to roast that in the oven again for 40 minutes at 400 degrees. It's kind of strong, and it takes away a little bit of the flavor. Now, let's talking about the mirepoix, guys. remember, this is not a conventional big professional kitchen, okay? Although I'm training you to be a professional chef, here is almost the final product, okay? So I have all the chicken that I bathed with tomato sauce. Actually, I mixed a little tomato sauce and tomato paste on the actual chicken after it came out after those 40 minutes. And I added the mirepoix that I was telling you. I have the onions. I have the 50% onions, 25% carrots, 25% celery, as I was telling you. So it's really important to know that the whole reason that we're doing this is to make it really, really brown, so we can have a brown sauce with a white meat, okay? This pot, okay? And the remaining that I have here in the bottom. So we're back into business. I have the final product now, the product that we deglaze, right? We got all those goodies from the sheet pan that we roasted the chicken bones with some meat, right? Because I'm making half and a half today, like I said. And we also, something I forgot to tell you, once you're deglazing, you can deglaze with water like I did with hot water, or you can cook on top of the stove. Or you can also add wine, like red wine or even white, actually red wine, because we're doing like brown stock. You can deglaze that beauty, the fawn from the bottom, the beauty that it was, like all the flavor that's left from the chicken. You can deglaze that with wine too, just a reminder. But today, so I have my pot, and now we're gonna strain it all the mirepoix and all the mixture that we had in the pot cooking for about 2.5 hours. Okay, some depends on the restaurant they're going to be working on. We're doing this at home, but you can even cook for as long as 4 hours. So to get all those juices and all those flavors, pretty amazing. Okay, so here's the final product. I already scoop it out all. That beauty that was inside is still hot. Okay, I'm gonna use a strainer like that, but cheesecloth is the best for me. I just don't have cheesecloth right now, but cheesecloth it gets all those particles away from it. So, and this is our final product. It's a brown stock made with chicken bones and mirepoix, and some people actually like to put garlic. And there you go. Now I'm gonna make my soup for tomorrow.